Makeshift Pod Halloween special.
I really like that sound effect. I feel like if I specialise in anything, it's a ghoul sound effect.
Yeah, look at this.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Look at this.
We spent a long time doing this. You know, we've actually
We've
spent
gone all out.
pretty much all
dressed in
day.
my best fancy dress.
That's gonna make a fuckery on the.
Oh god, it is.
Oh, I tried to say not one swear word during this whole podcast. I've already
Not even a minute in.
messed up. No, but we spent the whole day doing this. I hope you guys appreciate it. Basically, we went to Poundland and just went all out.
Yeah.
So I
the
feel like I've done a
best.
good job. These candles, I think, are the best buy.
Don't forget the little spiders.
Yeah, they're lovely. And I also spent some time on the Makeshift Pod art, making it look a bit more Halloween-like. So
Yeah.
that was your quick run for our costumes, Scott.
I am as an X-ray.
It's a shame that the listeners can't see this, but yeah, Scott is an X-ray. It's like a bin bag with an X-ray on, but it's nice. It's authentic. I like it.
Yeah. If you want to see what we look like, then check out our Instagram.
Oh yeah, you can. We should do like a little, like a professional picture. of both
Professional
of us.
picture.
Post
Maybe
them
we will.
separately.
Maybe we will.
Maybe we shall. Yeah, but my costume is a surgeon. Got it for £1. I think it's pretty good. From fake blood. I put fake blood on this bit, which wasn't the best idea.
And he's
'cause
actually gonna die.
I'm probably going to get
Fake
some
blood's
sort of,
gonna become real
infection.
blood.
Have I got red blood on my lips?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Oh, I've done it now. There's no going back.
Oh no, I forgot.
What did you forget? Oh, I forgot.
Oh damn it.
Alex. Try not to swear. Go and get my. Okay, yeah. That's right. I don't need mine. I had fangs, but they're not great. Oh, I wonder who you are.
I'm a spooky X-ray now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I wonder how this sounds on the audio.
It probably doesn't sound great. I mean,
Sounds really echoey to me.
yeah, but
I'm gonna see how long I can go with it for
before everyone gets annoyed.
before I get annoyed. Right.
I know this
So
is
how
a-
this is gonna go then?
Okay.
I just tried using Face ID.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Maybe. Oh, hang on. Do you think you could reset your Face ID using the mask?
I need this to get into my phone.
Try it.
Oh, that's long.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right. So how this podcast is gonna go, everyone? Me and Dan have 2 stories each, and we're gonna read them out.
Uh-huh.
Dan, would you like to present us with the first story, please?
Sure. This is courtesy of a website called Creepypasta. Just quickly, we made it. I know it's a spooky Halloween podcast, but we did a Queen video.
Dan
And,
did a Queen video.
Yeah, I did a Queen video, and it's nearly on 1,000 views. Got us lots of exposure. So I just want to say cheers to that with our microphones.
Cheers to our first probably 1,000 view video.
Yeah, and hate as well, and new
Yeah,
subscribers.
cheers to the hate.
Love it. The start of something new, one must say. But here we go. The creepy story. I just tried using Face ID as well. Rich people problems, you know. Okay. So this one, like I say, is courtesy of Creepypasta. And for this, I'm going to take my mask off. So just bear with me 2 seconds whilst I.
God, so just kill the mood. Why don't you?
Oh, it's not killing the mood at all. It's unveiling my true identity. Oh my god. Okay. So this one's called the harp.
Called the what, sorry?
The harp.
The harp. As in the instrument.
Oh, I'm guessing so. It might have another meaning throughout the podcast, but we'll see. Okay.
Right.
So, there is an angel perched on my bedside. It whispers a name all too faint. The word has been cruel to me. More cruel. Oh, the world, not the word.
Yeah, I was a bit
the world.
confused.
The world
Yeah.
has been cruel to me. More cruel than I could ever imagine. Now, I doubt what it really means to I'm not sure if this is a rhyme. Weeks. No, it's not. Okay, sorry. Now,
Honestly.
I doubt what it really means to imagine. I've been seeing the angel for a few weeks.
Oh.
The first time I saw it, I was more frightened than I'd ever been in my life. I woke up to its whisper. It was a rough and scathing noise that penetrated my body through my ears and out through my soul. I dared not to open my eyes, as I had the certain feeling that I was being watched. Soon enough, though, my eyes were wide open, and I saw it.
So what?
Well, I didn't believe my sight. I couldn't have. It was only visible as the moonlight shone through my windows and revealed the thing. It sat perched, naked, on my bedside, with a certain comfort. It was actually a paedophile who got in my... Sorry.
He's comfortably sat naked.
Yeah, he's comfortable. Who is this guy? He's come in to this person. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. I'm guessing a girl.
Yeah.
And he sat perched, naked on the bedside. We've got a description.
Okay, go.
It was a thin and pale creature.
Oh, sounds like me.
Its arms were folded over its chest, and its taloned feet, if anyone could tell us what taloned means.
It's like claws.
Oh, you know, okay. Were planted to my bed in a manner very similar to a bird sitting in its cage.
Yeah. So you know how like parrots have like the little...
yeah.
That's what talons are.
Its head was turned toward me, so in the moonlight I could see its face. Its face was hideous.
Oh,
Its
yeah.
features seemed as if they could have been drilled into its pale canvas.
It's definitely me.
Yeah.
Definitely me.
Save for its eyes and mouth.
Oh, it must have been a heavy night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its eyes were large and without pupils. So while his mouth was in the formation of a long and expressionless frown that extended from the sides of its face. I saw a glimpse of the creature's jagged teeth when it spoke.
No.
Its mouth opened ever so slightly when it spoke.
You're right, I did. 6 figures.
Fucked. Its mouth opened ever so slightly when it spoke, and its name gasped from between its teeth, as if it were its last breath. It spoke a name that bore itself into my mind, even though it couldn't be heard.
Oh, God.
I feared it for weeks. I would wait for its appearance each night, and it would always appear when it was the least convenient for myself. One night, I stopped eagerly awaiting the creature's return, and it showed me something in my sleep. It gave me the whole world for an instant. I saw a boy born, a soldier die, a young pup picking the bones of its own mother, a woman on a noose.
Oh.
Is that a noose?
No, noose.
What's a noose?
Like a rope around...
I thought that was a noose.
It's a noose.
Okay, a noose. And ungodly things that I could never dare recall. But I remember. I will never forget. But it was only in the end of our vision that it showed me truth. I walked naked along the desert sands. I walked
They're
nearer
both
and
naked,
nearer. Yeah, they are
loving
both
life.
naked, like holding hands.
Is this a love story or a
I'm
horror
not
story?
sure. I'm pretty sure it's a I mean, we'll see.
Oh, look, keep going.
I walked naked along the desert sands. I walked nearer and nearer to it, and its name became more and more clear as it whispered. That's when I saw its halo, and I saw my own. The angel sat on a cactus overlooking the desert.
On a cactus. That's...
Pretty painful, if you ask me.
Get a prickly bum.
Yeah, anyway. It unfolded its arms to reveal a pair of great wings. Wings of bone with a thin flap of pale flesh connecting the angel's arms to the sides of its torso. It raised one wing and slowly crept its other claw to its wing.
Wow.
The angel's claws screeched on the bones of its wing to create a horrid sound. The sound blared through the desert, and the painful noise brought me to my knees. As it played its wing, a group of pale buzzards gathered above the angel.
Not the buzzards.
The buzzards. They circled into a halo and hovered mere meters above its head. The screeching sound brought me to fall into the burning sand. I looked into the sky as a group of buzzards began circling around my body. The noise woke me up soon after, and the angel had left. Every night it came to me. Every night I heard the same name. I don't fear it. Not anymore. I don't think I can fear anymore. It's just too late. I knew that the illness that put me in my bed would soon kill me. My body had degraded to a point of no return. I was to die in that bed.
That's just you on the weekend.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? This isn't anything massive. In my helplessness, I could no longer move my arms or legs. The medication they had put me on made sure that I felt no earthly pain. But now my body's pain didn't matter. My life was over, and I could do nothing. That is all the pain I would ever need. In this state, I could do nothing but wait for the angel,
Oh, God.
wondering if it may be its last visit.
Oh, God.
It appeared in the moonlight again, as it always had. It whispered while it raised its wing. It used its claw to play on its wing. The music that played through its body was the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Now, I lie here in my bed, having heard the angel's harp, and I feel my last breath slipping from my soul. I look at the angel for the last time. I see its beauty in its sharp teeth and empty eyes. I hear the beauty of its screeching melody. I hear the beauty of its name whispered in my final moment. That was shit. That's it. It's fake. It's obviously not true.
Oh, no.
I thought
I
they
didn't.
were.
Oh,
I
no.
thought they were non-fiction.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
I mean, that was.
Well, that was a nice way to ease us in.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't scared.
It wasn't really a horror.
It
Seems a lot
more,
deeper than...
Well, it was like
Get
this thing
spooked.
was trying to kill her. I'm guessing it's a her
Yeah.
because she's a pussy.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Joking.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
all. It was okay.
The harp.
I'd give it a 4 out of 10 though.
Yeah.
I've heard some.
I'll back that.
Yeah.
That's a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Not even 20%.
10,
Yeah.
15.
Mm. Yeah.
Do you like Halloween?
I love Halloween. I feel like Halloween is. I don't know why I'm lying. I hate Halloween.
Right. But you love horror movies and you love spooky stuff.
Yeah. I love horror movies and stuff like that. But I think when people think of Halloween, they think of like going out and doing stuff. And like
is it the
Halloween
party
always falls
inside you
during the
don't like?
week.
That's the first time I dropped my phone. It's fine. Alright.
Look at the back.
Fine.
Bruv. Scott
Chill.
just got a new 10X
Chill,
expensive
bruh.
and
It's fine.
it's yeah. He's got a crack.
No.
Oh my god.
You're more worried than me. Chill.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Halloween, everyone goes out or tries to go out and it just never happens to me. I never do anything for it or I've
I
never
feel
done
the
anything
same
for
way.
it. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, when it comes to partying at Halloween,
Yeah.
nothing ever happens.
Well, you went out the weekend that most people do Halloween stuff.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a Halloween themed thing though. It was a birthday thing that happened to be near Halloween.
Yeah, that's true, but
It was quite funny though, watching people in the club in like zombie.
oh, so they were in the club.
Yeah. But where Halloween, I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, I think you should. Oh my god.
Where Halloween was in the middle of the week, you've got these people that are like, "Do we go out as
Yeah,
vampires
like this is why I
or
say
not?"
it's odd.
And it's like, right, so okay, look, I say we put our best vampire costumes on,
Yeah,
we go out,
yeah,
and you know what? If no one else is dressed up,
yeah.
then that's fine. And we'll do the same again next week.
Well, that's the sort of attitude you should have. But I've never done it.
It's this weird, like, some people dress, looking all sharp. Others are like, got this zombie makeup on, plodding around the club.
I'm surprised they were allowed in with that, You couldn't do that any other day of the year.
That's what, when Halloween's on a Wednesday, that's just what happens.
So you get 2 weekends of partying Halloween like.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite interesting to me.
Yeah. I just need to reset the camera.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll speak about my Halloween experience. I've never personally done anything for Halloween. Oh, is this a new cover art for the Halloween? Oh, look at this! As you can see, there are lots of webs and bats and a big makeshift pot art, but it's actually orange. And the top right, there's a nice spider. So this is like I said, a Halloween themed one. If you're listening, you probably can't see this, but yeah, we spent a lot of effort on that. And anyway, I'll go back to me talking about my Halloween experience. So I've gone trick-or-treating probably once in my whole life. I find the whole thing awkward. I find the whole thing just a massive fuckery. And I don't think I'll ever go trick-or-treating again unless it's with my kids, because apparently now they're putting edible marijuana in lots of sweets for kids. I'm not sure if this is just a US thing or if this is just a UK thing. But that is something that I don't think I'm up for. So yeah, probably going to avoid trick-or-treating in this day and age. You never know what you're going to be getting in your little bucket. But yeah, I've never done anything for Halloween. Never dress up. Never do anything like that. Never even carve a bloody pumpkin. I don't carve a pumpkin because I don't feel like I'm going to get any use out of it.
You've never carved a pumpkin?
I mean, I've carved a pumpkin,
Exactly. Don't lie to the
but
audience.
I don't do it
then.
every single year. I've done it maybe twice in my whole life.
That'd be silly to do it every single year.
This is my 21st. No, my 20.
Costume must make such a
Yeah,
racket.
so just fucking sit still.
I'm getting caught on the chair.
Oh my
All right,
god!
it's time for my story.
Right, hit me with your story.
Now,
my mask back on.
I got this story from Reddit. It's supposedly a true story, which is pretty spooky.
Is it called Dear David?
No,
If you've never heard of Dear David,
I have never heard of
that
Dear-
shit is a fucking horror
Dear
story. I might get that
David.
thread up whilst you're looking.
Well, you've only got one more story, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I actually have a solid other story.
Okay.
I don't want to take it from Netflix, but
It's from user NDRW17. And
okay, hit me with the
You ready?
best shot. I'm ready. Dude. I am.
It's a true story.
I'm ready.
It's called Someone on the Other Side of the Door.
I hate doors.
Disclaimer, this is a true story. It happened to me in high school. So it's American.
Can you do it in your American?
No.
Okay.
I can't.
Never mind.
Right. It was my senior year of high school. I'd finally made some good friends and used to clog up my parents' landline and just stand outside the phone talking away. We had a ranch-style house with a fairly long driveway, and across the street from my house and the whole block was one giant field. There was a mansion that a local doctor owned far back in the field. This is just, trying to set the scene.
Yeah.
But more or less, if you stood on the driveway to my house, looking across the street, there's nothing but empty field as far as you can see.
Okay.
At the end of the driveway was our mailbox, which stood next to the only street light on the block. One night, I was standing at the end of my driveway, talking on the phone to a friend, and my mother kept popping her head out the front door, complaining for me to get off the phone and come inside as it was late. Me being a teenager, I gave her the "give me 5 minutes" line multiple times, and kept talking. I remember complaining about her to my friend, how she was annoying me, etc, etc. At some point, I started hearing my name being called again, only this time, it was more of a loud whisper, like when you're quietly trying to get someone's attention. I distinctly remember saying to my friend something along the lines of, "Oh my god, she's yelling at me again," and kept talking. A few moments later, I heard my name being called again, ignored it, kept talking. Again, a few moments later, and also heard, "Come over here." I turned around.
Pronunciation. You're slurring your words, and I really want to hear every detail. You know what I mean? Just slow down. Slow down.
Right.
Take your time. It's good though.
So I'll go back.
Yeah, no. It's okay.
Right, so again, a few moments later, also heard, "Come over here." I turned around and realised the front door was closed. I know, I thought it was odd, but not enough that it really registered. So I said bye to my friend and headed inside. I get inside and my parents had just gotten in bed. I complained to my mum that she didn't have to keep yelling at me.
So was she outside?
Yeah,
Okay.
she didn't have to keep yelling at me. She could have just allowed me to finish my call. To which she responded that she hadn't stuck her head outside in like an hour.
Odd.
Cut to hours later, it was around 2 a.m. and I was in my room watching Evil Dead, which is just a horror movie, I guess.
Great horror movie. If you guys don't know what that is, really good.
And then she got up, headed to the kitchen to make some ramen. What's ramen?
It's like noodles.
Oh,
Yeah. Lovely.
nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so she gets up, makes the noodles. And her mum heard her in the kitchen and yelled from the bedroom to make sure the front door was locked before she went to bed.
Okay.
I just realised I've changed. I've gone third person, first person.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm going to go
still
back to
following.
first person
Yeah,
now.
I'm still following. So she's been outside. She heard her name call her. She thought it was her mum, but her mum wasn't even outside. They just took her out the window. Now she's gone back inside, watched the Evil Dead and make some ramen. And her mum has said, make sure you lock the door.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
cool.
Now, I walked out of the kitchen and headed to the front door, making sure it was locked. The front door was one of those that had an oval of frosted glass in the centre, so that you could see through it clearly in tiny sections. Others were frosted, so you couldn't.
Say that again. I
So, the front door, it's got like an oval glass bit,
did. Yeah.
and you know how it's like Some bits will be clear to see through. Some bits are like frosted over.
Like a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, I did what I normally did and looked through one of the tiny clear sections and habitually looked at the street lamp at the end of the driveway. Kind of like when you go to close the blinds. You just look
Take a
outside.
look.
Yeah.
You take a look to see if anyone's staring at you, you know? It's a routine thing.
Yeah, it's just natural.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
However, I couldn't see the street lamp. For a split second, I thought maybe the light had went out until whomever was standing on the other side of the glass moved to the side.
Oh.
I fucking hightailed it to my parents' room, waking my dad and telling him what had happened. He got out of the bed with my mum, grabbed a bat and went outside to check. They didn't find anything. I turned on all the lights, nothing. Creeped out, I go to bed. Then the next morning, I wake up and head to my car for school. The driver's side door was slightly ajar. I figured I'd just moronically left it open or something the night before.
Moron.
And just got in and went to school.
The car door was open?
Yeah. And then she just got in and went to school.
Yeah.
School ends, I get home to find a police car in my driveway. Apparently someone had broken into our garage overnight and stole all my dad's tools and anything else of worth.
Scumbags.
Not only that, the person had robbed several other homes on our block over the course of the past week. Scary shit to realise that whoever it was literally hiding somewhere around my house, baiting me while I was on the phone, and then hours later was still outside looking in through the front door. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty scary.
That guy just watching her on the phone.
It's more of a thriller than a horror.
Yeah.
But that is weird. And that's true?
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, it's scary that it's true. But because it's like actually someone, I find it less scary.
Right.
I find things that are more story-wise anyway.
You have to think about
if
more.
you watch a movie that's a thriller, like Halloween, for example.
Yeah.
You know, with that guy with the mask, Mike Myers, it's gonna be scary because it's jumpy. But if you tell someone a story like that that's true, then that's like, oh, it's just some fucking criminal. Do you know what I mean?
Some random geezer.
Yeah, but if you
if
you read a story about like something that like someone that haunted the house, then that's fucking scary. You know what I mean?
I find real stuff more scary. So if I'm watching, Mike Myers, I'm like, oh, it's just Mike Myers on the big screen. But if there's a guy actually there, like, come over here, and he's like lurking outside.
Yeah, but if there's a Mike Myers in real life.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know that
I'm talking more paranormal stuff.
Right.
Paranormal true stories. True paranormal stories, they're like, fuck me up.
Okay.
Like, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I think I probably will tell the other one later on. That came from Netflix. If guys don't know what Haunted is on Netflix, it's a show where every episode is like a 20-minute story, true story of someone who's telling their family for the first time a family haunting. But there was something I used to look at with my friend Kennedy. It was like and this guy worked for BuzzFeed or Reddit, one of the ones, one of the two. But basically, he had this thing haunting his house, and it was called David, and it looked like this, like that.
Right.
I'll do the screen. I have to edit that in. It's just a little baby with a dent in his head. And what he did, every now and then he updated his Twitter with updates. So every time I'd see Kennedy, she'd give me like an update. And I'd read through it. And it was like fucking scary because it's a true story. And I mean, you can just see how long it goes on for. Because I was going to read it today, but this is like one big Twitter feed that's been going on for like a year.
What was it like, Dear David?
It's like,
is that how
I think he's called Dear
started?
David. That's like, yeah. I think that's his name, Dear David.
So what would he like tweet about?
Just stuff that's going on in the apartment. Things that are moving, like just weird shit. And then like he takes pictures and Polaroids and stuff. And it's like Dear David's in the bedroom and it's like, yeah. I don't know if it's real or not. People don't know if it's real. I think it's like an internet sensation thing. But again, he works for Reddit.
It could quite easily.
I think it probably is fake, but it's something that is something that's nice.
It's still
to
spooky.
keep updated with.
Still
But
just a little spook.
yeah, I can't go
Just
through
a
it
little
now.
spook.
It's far too long.
I think it's about time for the Hooked story. A couple of weeks ago,
Hooked.
what did we do?
Hooked.
We did Annie
96 is typing.
96. This week we're doing Hooked, which is an app.
Yeah.
It isn't sponsored, believe it or
No,
not.
Hooked is good. I see it advertised and stuff. Annie 96 is typing is really famous, you know.
Really?
Loads of people have done videos online on it.
Oh, wow.
Like reaction videos.
We didn't even know.
Didn't even know. Original content for you guys.
There you go.
That's
That's what we do.
But I enjoyed
do.
Annie 96 typing. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it's quite different. So let me just reset the camera.
Yeah, I don't know
And,
what I should talk about. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll just quickly talk about the Makeshift pod logo, which you can see on the screen now. It's I didn't really talk about it before, but in the background you
And
can see.
We're back. We're
Bollocks.
back. I had to stop you as soon as I could.
Let's
That's
just
yeah, I know. All right.
flatten it so it doesn't move.
Okay. Let me just.
Scott's got a new iPhone,
Yeah.
and it's really big.
Okay.
Look at the two together. Look at the two
Best friends.
buddies. iPhone
Right.
10 buddies.
Hooked.
Yes.
I'm actually quite looking forward to this.
So am I. If they're good, we could do another one.
Let me just put the screen recording. 3, 2, 1.
So you can sync it up.
Ah, smart.
Yeah?
That's smart.
What am I? I'm a
Right.
good guy.
Now it turns out we can actually choose. So
Oh, what you can choose.
should I just scroll at random and see?
Well, see what they're called.
So we've got Blabbermouth. We've got Blood on the Shore.
Hang on, what is Blabbermouth? Oh my god.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Let me go to Halloween actually. Sorry, horror. Oh god.
Oh.
Oh.
How do you do it? So you just swipe along the bottom like that.
Oh no way.
Like that.
Look at this.
So I'm teaching him how to use an iPhone.
All right.
And then to get multitasking. you
Yeah,
just go
I
like
know.
that.
I knew that.
Oh yeah, you can literally just swipe along the bottom.
All right. See, I was trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
It's alright, bro. I've got
Alright,
you.
Okay. What? Just a doll.
Just a
The old house.
Can you like?
Drive through.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Don't go to school. The neighbours.
Something
Bullies.
that's like
The clowns are
the
fish.
intruder.
So we sort of did that with the Annie 96 thing. Smiley face.
That's quite good.
OMG,
my God, Johnny. Oh my god, Ronnie. That producer's quite good.
Dentist. Taken. Peeping Tom.
Cade Scott.
What?
Cade Scott.
We're doing Peeping Tom.
well,
by Cade Scott.
You mentioned you. I don't know.
Peeping Tom. I think that's really creepy. Peeping Tom.
What is Peeping Tom?
It's like when you're like when someone's like stalking you and they're like outside your house watching you. That's a Peeping Tom.
Okay, we'll come back to it. I want something. Imaginary friend. There's shit like this, like camping trip. That looks cool.
Flip and send it, bro.
Yeah.
420,000 people have seen this
Do
story.
you know what? We should do it. Can you not do it where it's like on each phone or not?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Let's go. Do you want to be dad or should I be dad?
I'll be dead. Hey, Cole. I'll take my mask off.
Hey, dad. I'm Cole.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's my favorite camper? Everything there all right?
We're all about to turn in for the night.
How'd you like your first day?
I hated it.
What? How could you hate it? I had so much fun when I was there at your age.
It's not fun at all.
Not fun? Why?
Food is crap, my legs are sore, and all the older campers are assholes. I don't know why I'm American.
Watch your language, son.
The older campers keep saying it.
Well, you know your mother wouldn't like that language, so don't use it once you're back in the house.
Okay.
Is that creepy old cabin on the other side of the lake still there?
Yeah, we passed by it as we were canoeing to the campsite.
You wouldn't believe the stories about that thing.
The counselors mentioned some of them, I think. The lake is a bit creepier though, I think.
What do you mean? Why?
One of the campers drowned there 4 summers ago. Lol. He was out there swimming by himself when no counselors were around. The weird part is, they never found a body even though they searched the whole lake.
Oh, darn.
That's such a dad response.
Oh, darn. Sounds like a spooky campfire story.
We already told those and they were dumb. True stories is scary to me. I'm actually cold.
Yeah. Well, you stay safe there, okay, buddy?
I will, Dad. Don't worry.
Attaboy. I'll talk to you in the morning, okay?
Sounds good. I like how you improvise with the attaboy.
Yeah. We love you and miss you, Cole. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Night, Dad. Wait, this was actually
Night,
gonna
Cole.
be it.
Yeah.
Dad, are you awake? Dad?
What is it? Are you okay?
Something really messed up just happened.
What?
All of the camp counselors are gone. And their beds are bloody. Like someone dumped a bucket of blood onto the blankets.
Cole, you need to call the police right now. This is serious. Do you hear me? What's happening there?
Everyone's freaking out.
Has anyone called the police?
Yeah, someone already did. They told us to stay put and that they'll be here soon.
The nearest police station is an hour away. Forget what I remember. From what? Sorry, I went dyslexic. Forget what I think you're really... I got confused. I think you're out of shot a little bit.
I don't think so.
Yeah, leave it there. Just tell me when it's my turn.
Okay.
From what I remember.
Some of the kids are talking about grabbing the flashlights and running into the woods.
The flashlights? The flashlights or the flashlights?
What?
You don't know what a flashlight is, son.
Oh, the flash.
The flashlight.
Definitely the
All
flashlights.
right. Well, don't leave the campsite, Cole. Stay exactly where you are until the police arrive, okay? Do you hear me?
They're leaving right now.
Stay put. Do not follow them. I'm serious, Cole.
Okay, Dad. What do you think happened to those counselors? Do you think it could have been an animal or something? It's just weird that their bodies are nowhere to be found.
I don't know, Cole, but just remain calm. The police will be there soon.
I'm really freaked out, Dad.
I know, son. Keep your head down and breathe in and out.
They're screaming coming from the woods.
Don't go in there.
It sounds like they're being hurt or something. Like they're being attacked.
Cole, listen to me. The number one priority right... What the fuck? We have to wait 15 minutes to carry on the story. 15 minutes.
What the fuck? 7 days free.
Oh my god.
We'll be back in 15 minutes. Maybe.
Oh.
Nah. We'll just cut.
Yeah, we'll just have to cut this. What the fuck? The number one priority right now is for you to remain safe. Tell me everything that's going on around you right now.
We're all huddled together.
Okay.
People are crying. I'm really scared. Some kids are running away. Dad, am I going to die?
No, son. You're not going to die. I'm so sorry. I thought it was going to be bigger. You're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen to you.
Something's coming out of the woods.
Find someplace to hide and stay there. I repeat, stay there and do not move at all.
Okay. I just crawled underneath the bed. There's screaming coming from the campsite. I think whatever it is that came out of the woods is here now. Oh my god, it's about to come into my tent. I can hear it.
Don't make a peep. I can't see, man. Whatever you do, stay as silent, as still as possible. Cole? Cole, is it gone?
Dad, I think I'm going to be sick.
What was it?
I don't know. Its feet looked human, but it was making this noise that didn't sound anything like anything I've ever heard. Like a death rattle.
Oh, a death rattle? You should have just said so. It's my cousin Jim. Oh, fuck me, Jim.
Dad, I need to get out of here.
Stay underneath that bed, Cole.
Want to get out of here.
You're gonna endanger yourself. Please just be patient.
No, Dad. Don't want to stay here for one more minute. I feel so sick.
What are you going to do? What the hell did I just see? Where are you gonna go?
I'm gonna find my way back to town and find help.
Cole, please stay underneath that bed. Please.
No. I'm already in the woods.
God damn it.
I'm getting out the way we came in.
Well, you're fucked, Cole. You're fucked. But what about the thing you saw? Whatever it was. You don't see it anywhere?
It's just me right now.
Okay, but please keep texting me so I know you're alive.
Okay. The branches keep getting in my eyes.
You fucking asshole.
It's really quiet in here.
God damn it.
I'm at the lake now.
I hope you're not thinking of crossing it.
I'm a good swimmer.
Oh my god. No, Cole!
I need to cross it, Dad. It's the only way I can get help.
We wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
People see that. Cole, do you hear? Oh god damn it.
God's bloody
Just put it on Do Not Disturb. Okay, that works.
Oh,
Just leave it. They'll die away.
yeah.
Cole, I can't read. Cole, do you hear me? Don't you dare swim across that lake. Cole, answer me if you're there. Oh, God. The fucking asshole. Cole, please be okay.
Dad, I'm fine.
Thank God. You scared the living daylights out of me.
Sorry. I'm about to pass by that cabin. Wait,
What?
there's a death rattle coming from the woods.
Death rattle? Cole? Cole? Scary, scary.
The death rattle.
So you died.
We don't know that.
You waited 15 minutes for that.
They didn't,
Well, yeah.
but we did, yeah.
I tried using TikTok in the meantime, and yeah.
Didn't end well, did it?
No,
No,
I ended up getting quite angry.
that's a shame.
But I'll talk about a story that if you guys have watched the Netflix show Haunted, then you're probably gonna be bored because this is the first episode. And before I say anything, I had a chat with my brother, who is an avid watcher of the podcast, and one of the things he said is that I'm always getting details wrong of certain things. He didn't say, "Oh, but you correct yourself." He just said that I get details wrong because I never claim to be an expert in anything. But when I'm talking about something and I have to give you details, I'll always say, might not be right. So just to please Alex Dunmore, this story might not be 100% completely accurate, but it is true. And it is from the Netflix special Haunted, which you can find on Netflix. So, I don't know what the guy was called. We're going to call him Johnny. So Johnny was a little 6-year-old boy. And he was quite poor with his... I don't know any of the places. Dude, just sit the fuck down. I need some company over here. Come on. You can drink when you're sitting down. Thanks, man.
I'm back. We're back.
Anyway, yeah, this guy... Oh, because I want you to listen. Do you know what I mean? I want you to know. I want you to understand what's going on.
I'm in the room.
You okay?
I'm making a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's really bad. When you stay still, it's fine. So, yeah, this guy, we're going to call him Johnny.
Johnny.
He was quite poor, and they were always moving. They were always moving to apartments.
Just nomads.
Not even apartments, just I'm not sure if they were homeless or not, but they were very, very, very poor. And this family, so it was a mum and dad and this little boy, moved into this apartment.
Yeah.
And as they walked in, people were staring at them.
Right.
But not as if to say, you shouldn't be here.
Right.
But just to be like, they were okay, you know, not concerned, just looking weirdly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but they went in there. And this little boy, Johnny, he had this little bedroom and there were some closets.
Okay.
A bit like these.
All right.
Like these closets, but they were open like normal doors.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 like wooden doors in a closet. There's like a bigger place where you hang your clothes.
Yeah.
And for the first few nights, he'd be lying in his bed and he'd hear the closet doors.
Thank you.
He'd hear the closet doors, and they'd be open in his bed.
Well, that's surely closed them before he went to sleep.
They were already closed.
Yeah.
But he heard them in his sleep when he woke up and they were open.
That's
So
odd.
then he'd get up and just shut them.
Okay.
And it kept on happening. So eventually what he did...
Strong wind? Or?
Yeah, well, happened for a few nights.
Okay,
every single night. And then what he did, he made sure they were shut. So just, I'm not sure if he locked them or something, or if there was a lock. But there was big... and then they opened.
Okay.
One night, this kept happening. And every night he'd have to get up and shut them. I'm not sure how long this happened for, maybe a few nights.
Very annoying, yes.
There was one night where he had this dream and he saw himself. It was like an out of body experience. He saw himself walking towards his big bathtub.
I see. Okay.
Right. He was walking towards his big bathtub, just complete black and one bathtub. And in the water, he was walking up towards it, and the more he walked up towards the bathtub, the water was like red, like blood. And there was a boy standing there. And then he got up close towards the boy, and when he was right behind the boy covered in blood, turned around and it was him. Himself was covered in blood, just staring at himself.
God.
And then he woke up, and then the next night, the closets opened again.
Yeah.
But when he looked up, they weren't just the closets. Inside, there was a woman hanging in the closet.
Oh my.
After hanging herself.
Goodness.
Just hanging. And her eyes opened like this. And just stared at him. And he was petrified.
Of course.
Just
That's
hanging
terrifying.
woman. Just hanging like that. And this happened for a few nights. Every single night.
Johnny, man.
Yeah, every single night. The closet doors would open and she'd be there.
Why are you still sleeping in that room?
Well, this is why. Because little Johnny tried to tell his parents. He went to his dad and his mum in there. And his dad had a bit of a drinking problem. And he went up there to his dad, told his dad, and his dad just...
No.
Don't you talk about this family like that. Don't you put all this curse on this family, blah, blah, blah. Just shut up. No one believes you. Just shut the hell up.
But little Johnny...
I know. Well, this is what little Johnny thought. 6 years old, Johnny.
Oh.
Anyway, he goes to bed. Next night, closet doors open, and surprise, surprise, it's little old Mary hanging herself again. And then eyes go... But then she goes... drops down on the floor.
Right.
And then she goes, crawls towards him. Run, Johnny, run! And she's going, like this. And this is a true story. This 6-year-old boy is seeing this.
Right.
It became a nightly routine.
So
he just hid under his covers and eventually it would go away.
Okay.
But this happened every single night. For 6 years.
6 years.
6
Johnny
years.
turns 12.
6 years. Eventually, I'm just trying to get the timeline right. Hang on.
Okay.
Because they.
Yeah. No, you take your time, man. Don't know.
Eventually they moved out the apartment.
Right.
Yeah, eventually they moved out the apartment.
6 years later.
6 years later.
Okay.
And he said, thank God we're getting away from this all. And as they go out, the receptionist said, oh, I'm surprised you lasted that long. And they said, why? They all knew. Apart from little Johnny, he was like, why? But the mum and dad were like, oh. Turns out, a woman killed 2 of her children in the bath of that apartment.
Oh my God.
Drowned them. Or they might have slit them so there was blood in the bath. And then hung herself in the closet that Johnny slept in. 1 week before they moved into that apartment.
Oh.
They had to replace the carpets
My God.
just before Johnny and his family moved in. And everyone knew this. The landlord, the mum, the dad. They didn't tell Johnny.
Little Johnny.
So why did they shut him down? When he told him, probably because they were very poor and that's the only place they could afford, and that the parents didn't want to be kicked out because of the fact that there were complaints by his son.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably.
Anyway, Doesn't stop there. Carries on. They move away to quite a nice suburban place.
Oh my goodness.
And he meets a friend. Johnny meets a friend.
Ah.
Woman's gone, by the way. Just gone.
Just happened.
Just gone. Been a couple of years. And
God,
he's riding a bike with his friend.
Sorry, I'm just getting shivers up my
It's all right.
spine.
La-di-da-di-da. Johnny, I'm on a bike with my friend, Buddy. And sees the woman again. Just standing in the road in the dark.
Oh no.
And he's staring at her, gets hit by a car. Really fucking hurt. Gets hit by a car. Right?
Johnny gets hit.
Johnny. Because he's seen it, he was in the road in the bike, he sees the he's
He's
stunned.
trance,
He gets hit. And he's with his friend Buddy. So Buddy takes Johnny home to his mum's house.
Oh,
and they go, and Buddy's going, Mum, we need to get Johnny to a hospital. And the mum is just staring blank, looking at a blank wall. Blank face, no emotion.
It's Johnny's mum.
No, this is Buddy's mum.
Oh.
So Johnny's gone to his friend's mum.
Right.
Because Buddy wants to get help.
Yeah.
So he'd live closer than
Right,
Johnny.
right.
And the mum just looked at Johnny. You should be dead. You should be dead. You should be dead. You should be dead. Like that. Bit weird.
Little bit.
Anyway, Johnny goes home.
What?
Johnny goes home because it was just a bit weird to the left. And
Johnny survived
Johnny's
the car.
Johnny's mum took him to hospital.
Right.
You know, their mum was like, Buddy was like, oh God, don't worry.
It's the idea that Buddy's mum got possessed by
we'll get
this.
there. But again, the woman didn't turn up for a few more weeks or months or whatever, and then she she turned up again in his house. So he had no choice. You don't need to change the camera again. He had no choice. He had no choice but to run away. So he ran away from his parents. And he'd stay at a place one night at a time, and the woman didn't show up for a few years. And then he came out of his apartment from his job. Mm-hmm. He had worked in like a food restaurant, a fast food place.
Yeah.
And he came out and just saw the woman standing in the car park. He thought he outrun her.
Oh no!
She was just standing in the car
Johnny.
park, and he fainted. Ambulance was called, and he died for 2 minutes or something like that, like a split second maybe.
Okay.
He died.
Just
then they go-
a brief death.
They go, clear, and he wakes up again. He lives. And so after this, Johnny's theory was that the woman who killed both her kids in that apartment
Right.
must have thought Johnny, the little boy, was one of her little boys that she thought she killed. So this woman who hung herself
I see.
was like, oh my God, you need to die again. I thought I killed you, you need to die. That's why she kept on trying to kill him, right? As a spirit, as a
Yeah.
like that, okay? And when he finally got, that's why when they went to Buddy's house, when he got hit by the car, that's why he believes the woman took over Buddy's mother, possessed her, and was talking through his friend's mum, saying, you should be dead because I tried killing you in the bath
Yeah.
and you're still alive, but you should be dead, you know? And then because he died for that split second, when he fainted, he collapsed. Because he died, his heart stopped. The woman thought that he was dead. So she was at ease again. But she's come back. And when the guy's telling his story,
Again.
literally a few nights ago, he was like, oh yeah, I see her all the time. It's mental, isn't it?
So how's this shot?
So it's shot in like a
Because I was picturing
old big living room, old.
I'm picturing it's just like
It's reconstructed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting it just that's all it is, like reconstruction, and then before it's like based on a true story.
So based on a true story, and then what it is this. So the guy's there himself, the real guy, Johnny. That's not his real name, but anyway, he's sitting. He's just like not like an old man, but like a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he's got one of his close friends. He's got his daughter.
Right.
Yeah, he's got whatever. Oh, by the way, when he ran away with his girlfriend, and who turned out to be his wife. Just that doesn't matter.
A little side note.
But yeah, so he's sitting there and he's telling everyone. So it's him narrating it. So he's
Okay.
telling his family for the first time ever.
Okay.
Bear in mind.
Oh,
Which
he's
is a bit
telling his
fucking.
family.
It's a bit like whoa. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
his whole family and close friends.
Wow.
And this is it every episode. And every time when he's talking, there'll be like when he's talking about something that happened in the story, it will cut to a shot of like they have like a young actor in a bed. And
Right,
the whole
I
woman is
see.
reconstructed and everything.
Yeah.
and then they change setting to when they move out the apartment.
Okay,
It's like a suburban
okay,
area. You see the car crash.
Yeah.
But you don't see the "you should be dead" bit. That bit isn't reconstructed.
Does he reenact that himself?
No, he didn't say it like that, but he just said, "You should be dead. You should be dead." Like so she repeated
okay.
it. And every now and then the family will ask questions. And so his long-term friend was like, "Was this the last time you saw her?" And he was like, "No, just a few nights ago. I think it was a few nights ago." Yeah, she's still there. I think that's a really, really good story. I think it's really scary to watch.
Yeah.
I really recommend watching it.
I'll probably watch Rock Go to Bed tonight.
Yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. And you'll probably find there were some details that I missed or didn't get right, but that's like the main
Yeah, that's spooky.
of the story.
It's very spooky. I can't get over Buddy's mum. Just
Being possessed like that, it's crazy.
and then just everyone moving on. Like, oh, she's just Buddy's mum.
Well, they might have mentioned what happened afterwards, but I didn't remember. Watched that one with Laura. She didn't like it.
I can imagine.
Didn't tell me at the time. But yeah, I loved it.
She didn't like it because she was scared or she was bored.
Pussy.
Fuck it.
No, I'm joking. No, but no, because when the girl was moving towards the Johnny, like all her bones were clicking, Laura was like, "Oh, that's not my back." When I click my back, and I was like, "Oh, cool." Like, I thought she was making a joke of it, so I thought she was alright.
Right.
But she was saying that to lighten the mood, apparently.
Because she was like shitting it.
I was uncomfortable watching it, but it was sick.
Yeah.
I really recommend it, dude.
Yeah, well, dead. That leaves me with the final story.
Uh-huh.
Now, this story is called No End House. I just found it randomly. I stumbled across it this morning, and it's quite a long one.
Okay.
So I'm going to reset the camera again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And we'll dive right into this sucker. So if you just... I don't know what you'll talk about, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Okay. Guys, if you haven't already checked out our socials, you can find us on Instagram. We do also have a Twitter as well, which is slacking, but it's active. So you guys can check us out on there. Instagram, you can see lots of stories and things when we're behind the scenes shooting this sort of thing. So make sure to go over there and check that out. And make sure you subscribe, by the way. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or you are listening to this on Spotify, dude,
I'm sorry.
Spotify, Anchor, or things like that, head over to our YouTube channel, Vertical Visuals. It's not the one with 88 subscribers, unfortunately. It's one with about 16. But you can find us on there. 17, okay, right. Yeah. 17 subscribers. You find us on there. It's a picture of me and Scott, or Scott and me, on the thumbnail. Check it out and subscribe for weekly podcasts and every other week videos.
That's great.
We have a lot lined up.
That's great. That's a nice little promo. I like that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so No End House.
No End House, baby.
Let me start by saying that Peter Terry was addicted to heroin.
Mad.
We were friends in college and continued to be after I graduated.
Okay.
Notice that I said I. He dropped out after 2 years of barely cutting it. After I moved out of the dorms and into a small apartment, I didn't see Peter as much. We would talk online every now and then. There was a period where he wasn't online for about 5 weeks straight. I was worried. He was a pretty notorious flake and drug addict, so I assumed he just stopped caring. Then one night, I saw him log on. Before I could initiate a conversation, he sent me a message. "David, man, we need to talk." That was when he told me about the No End House. He got that name because no one had ever reached the final exit. The rules were pretty simple and cliche. Reach the final room of the building and you win $500.
Ew.
There were 9 rooms in all. The house was located outside the city, roughly 4 miles from my house. Apparently Peter had tried and failed. He was a heroin and who knows what the fuck addict. So I figured the drugs got the best of him and he wigged out at a paper ghost or something. He told me it would be too much for anyone, that it was unnatural. I didn't believe him. I told him I would check it out the next night, and no matter how hard he tried to convince me otherwise, $500 sounded too good to be true.
Pretty good to go for a haunted house.
I had to go.
Yeah, of course.
I set out the following night. When I arrived...
By himself?
I believe so.
Wow, okay. Brave guy.
When I arrived, I immediately noticed something strange about the building. Have you ever seen or read something that shouldn't be scary, but for some reason a chill crawls up your spine?
Yeah.
I walked towards the building, and the feeling of uneasiness only intensified as I opened the front door. My heart slowed, and I let a relieved sigh leave me as I entered. The room looked like a normal hotel lobby, decorated for Halloween. A sign was posted in place of a worker. It read, "Room 1 this way, 8 more follow. Reach the end and you win." I chuckled and made my way to the first door. The first area was almost laughable. The decor resembled the Halloween aisle of a Kmart.
Basically this.
Yeah. Complete with sheet ghosts and animatronic zombies that gave a static growl when you passed by. At the far end was an exit. It was the only door besides the one I entered through. I brushed through the fake spider webs and headed for the second room. I was greeted by fog as I opened the door to room 2. The room definitely upped the ante in terms of technology. Not only was there a fog machine, but a bat hung from the ceiling and flew in a circle. Scary.
Scary stuff.
They seemed to have a Halloween soundtrack that one would find in a 99-cent store on loop.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
It was the mash. It was the monster mash. He did the mash. It was a monster mash. I didn't see a stereo, but I guess they must have used a PA system. I stepped over a few toy rats that wheeled around and walked with a puffed chest across to the next area. I reached the doorknob and my heart sank to my knees.
Nope.
I did not want to open that door. A feeling of dread hit me so hard I could barely even think. Logic overtook me after a few terrified moments, and I shook it off and entered the next room.
Logic overtook him.
It's Barbie. Room 3 is where things began to change.
Here we go.
On the surface, it looked like a normal room. There was a chair in the middle of the wood-panelled floor. A single lamp in the corner did a poor job of lighting the area, casting a few shadows across the floor and walls. That was a problem. Shadows, plural. With the exception of the chairs, there were others. I'd barely walked in the door and I was already terrified. It was at that moment that I knew something wasn't right. I didn't even think as I automatically tried to open the door I came through. It was locked from the other side. That set me off. Was someone locking the doors as I progressed? There was no way I would have heard them. Was it a mechanical lock that set automatically? Maybe, but I was too scared to really think. I turned back to the room and the shadows were gone. The chair's shadow remained, but the others were gone. I slowly began to walk. I used to hallucinate when I was a kid, so I wrote off the shadows as a figment of my imagination.
You're a drug addict now, huh? Hallucinating as a kid, being on those magic shrooms.
I began to feel better as I made it to the halfway point of the room. I looked down as I took my steps, and that's when I saw it. Or didn't see it. My shadow wasn't there. I didn't have time to scream. I ran as fast as I could to the other door and flung myself without thinking into the room beyond. The fourth room was possibly the most disturbing. As I closed the door, all light seemed to be sucked out and put back into the previous room. I stood there, surrounded by darkness, not able to move. I'm not afraid of the dark, I never have been, but I was absolutely terrified.
Me.
All sight had left me. I held my hand in front of my face, and if I didn't know what I was doing, I would never have been able to tell. Darkness doesn't describe it. I couldn't hear anything. It was dead silence. When you're in a soundproof room, you can still hear yourself breathing. You can hear yourself being alive. I couldn't. I began to stumble forward after a few moments, my rapidly beating heart the only thing I could feel. There was no door in sight. I wasn't even sure there was one this time. The silence was then broken by a low hum. I felt something behind me. I spun around, wildly, but I could barely even see my nose. I knew it was there though, regardless of how dark it was. I knew something was there. The hum grew louder, closer. It seemed to surround me, but I knew whatever was causing the noise was in front of me, inching closer. I took a step back. I had never felt that kind of fear. I can't really describe true fear. I wasn't even scared I was going to die. I was scared of what the alternative was. I was afraid of what this thing had in store for me. Then the lights flashed for a second and I saw it. Nothing. I saw nothing.
Mad.
And I know I saw nothing there. The room was again plunged into darkness, and the hum became a wild screech. I screamed in protest. I couldn't hear this goddamn sound for another minute. I ran backwards, away from the noise, and fumbled for the door handle. I turned and fell into room 5.
So that's sound effects there.
Yeah, that's good. Keep
Thanks.
going. Before I describe room 5, you have to understand something.
Okay.
I'm not a drug addict. I've had no history of drug abuse.
I'm just hallucinating as a kid. I'm not a drug addict.
Yeah, we all had a little bit of the old heroin.
Dibble
a bit of
double on the old heroin and
you know,
crack cocaine.
It's fun. I'm not a drug addict.
Okay, yeah, we get it. You're also not gay. Yeah, okay.
I've had no history of drug abuse or any sort of psychosis short of the childhood hallucinations I mentioned earlier. And those were only when I was really tired or just waking up. I entered the no-end
Wake and
house
bake.
with a clear head. After falling in from the previous room, my view of room 5 was from my back. Looking up at the ceiling, what I saw didn't scare me. It simply surprised me. Trees had grown into the room and towered above my head. The ceiling in this room was a lot taller than the others, which made me think I was in the centre of the house. I got up off the floor, dusted myself off, and took a look around.
Is this true?
I don't know. I mean,
Probably not.
probably not.
I like it though.
But, you know, whatever you want it to be.
You believe.
I got up off the floor, dusted myself off, and took a look around. It was definitely the biggest room of them all. I couldn't even see the door from where I was. Various brush and trees must have blocked my line of sight with the exit. Up to this point, I figured the rooms were going to get scarier, but this was a paradise compared to the last room. I also assumed whatever was in room 4 stayed back there. I was incredibly wrong.
Oh God.
As I made my way deeper into the room, I began to hear what one would hear if they were in a forest, chirping bugs, and the occasional flap of birds seemed to be my only company in this room. That was the thing that bothered me most. I heard the bugs and the other animals, but I didn't see any of them. I began to wonder how big this house was. From the outside, when I first walked up to it, it looked like a regular house. It was definitely on the bigger side, but this was almost a full forest in here. The canopy covered my view of the ceiling.
Sorry.
You could have saved that for a better moment. If it was like, there was a creak in the floor.
Oh, sorry. Let me just hold my fart.
The canopy covered my view of the ceiling, but I assumed it was still there, however high it was. I couldn't see any walls either. The only way I knew I was still inside was that the floor matched the other rooms, the standard dark wood panelling. You've got a real image in your head right now.
Yeah.
I kept walking, hoping that the next tree I passed would reveal the door. After 3 moments of walking, I felt a mosquito fly onto my arm. I shook it off and kept going.
What was that? You shook you off.
I shook it off. A second later, I felt about 10 more land on my skin at different places. I felt them crawl up and down my arms and legs, and a few made their way across my face. I flailed wildly to get them all off, but they just kept crawling. I looked down and let out a muffled scream, more of a whimper to be honest. I didn't see a single bug, not one bug was on me, but I could feel them crawl. I heard them fly by my face and sting my skin, but I couldn't see a single one. I dropped to the ground and began to roll wildly. I was desperate. I hated bugs, especially ones I couldn't see or touch, but these bugs could touch me and they were everywhere. I began to crawl. I had no idea where I was going. The entrance was nowhere in sight and I still hadn't even seen the exit, so I just crawled, my skin wriggling with the presence of those phantom bugs. After what seemed like hours, I found the door. I grabbed the nearest tree and propped myself up, mindlessly slapping my arms and legs to no avail. I tried to run, but I couldn't. My body was exhausted from crawling and dealing with whatever it was on me. I took a few shaky steps to the door, grabbing each tree on the way for support. It was only a few feet away when I heard it, the low hum from before. It was coming from the next room, and it was deeper. I could almost feel it inside my body, like when you stand next to an amp at a concert. The feeling of the bugs on me lessened as the hum grew louder. As I placed my hand on the doorknob, the bugs were completely gone, but I couldn't bring myself to turn the knob. I knew that if I let go, the bugs would return, and there was no way I'd make it back to room 4. I just stood there, my head pressed against the door marked 6, and my hand shakily grasping the knob. The hum was so loud, I couldn't even hear myself pretend to think there was nothing I could do but move on. Room 6 was next, and room 6 was hell. What do you think so far?
Really good. Really good thing.
Room 6.
How many rooms are there? 9?
Yeah.
9.
I closed the door behind me. My eyes held shut and my ears ringing. The hum was surrounding me. As the door clicked into place, the hum was gone. I opened my eyes in surprise, and the door I had shut was gone. It was just a wall now. I looked around in shock. The room was identical to room 3, the same chair and lamp, but with the correct amount of shadows this time. The only real difference was that there was no exit door, and the one I came through was gone. As I said before, I had no previous issues in terms of mental instability, but at the moment I fell into what I now know was insanity. I didn't scream, I didn't make a sound. At first, I scratched softly. The wall was tough, but I knew that the door was there somewhere. I just knew it was. Yeah, good. Okay. I scratched at where the doorknob was. I clawed at the wall frantically with both hands, my nails being filed down to the skin against the wood. I fell silently to my knees. The only sound in the room, the incessant scratching against the wall. I knew it was there. The door was there. I knew it was just there. I knew if I could just get past this wall. You all right? I jumped off the ground and spun in one motion. I leaned against the wall behind me, and I saw what it was that spoke to me. To this day, I regret ever turning around. There was a little girl. She was wearing a soft white dress that went down to her ankles. She had long blonde hair to the middle of her back and white skin and blue eyes. She was the most frightening thing I had ever seen, and I know that nothing in my life will ever be as unnerving as what I saw in her. While looking at her, I saw something else. Where she stood, I saw what looked like a man's body, only larger than normal and covered in hair. He was naked from head to toe, but his head was not human and his toes were hooves. It wasn't the devil, but at that moment it might as well have been. The form had the head of a ram and the snout of a wolf. It was horrifying, and it was synonymous with the little girl in front of me. They were the same form. I can't really describe it, but I saw them at the same time. They shared the same spot in the room, but it was like looking at two separate dimensions. When I saw the girl, I saw the form, and when I saw the form, I saw the girl. I couldn't speak. I could barely even see. My mind was revolting against what it was attempting to process. I'd been scared before in my life, and I'd never been more scared than when I was trapped in the 4th room. But that was before room 6. I just stood there, staring at whatever it was that spoke to me. There was no exit. I was trapped here with it, and then it spoke again. David, you should have listened. When it spoke, I heard the words of the little girl. The other form spoke through my mind in a voice I won't attempt to describe.
David, you should have listened.
There was no other sound. The voice just kept repeating that sentence
David,
over and over in my mind, and I agreed. I didn't know what to do. I was slipping into madness, yet couldn't take my eyes off what was in front of me. I dropped to the floor. I thought I'd passed out, but the room wouldn't let me. I just wanted it to end. I was on my side, my eyes wide open, and the form staring down at me. Scurrying across the floor in front of me was one of the battery-powered rats from the 2nd room. The house was toying with me. But for some reason, seeing that rat pulled my mind back from whatever depths it was headed, and I looked around the room. I was getting out of there. I was determined to get out of that house and live and never think about this place again. I knew this room was hell, and I wasn't ready to take up a residency. At first, it was just my eyes that moved. I searched the walls for any kind of opening. The room wasn't that big, so it didn't take long to soak up the entire layout. The demon still taunted me, the voice growing louder as the form stayed rooted where it stood. I placed my hand on the floor, lifted myself up to all 4, and turned to scan the wall behind me. Then I saw something I couldn't believe. The form was now right at my back, whispering into my mind how I shouldn't have come. I felt its breath on the back of my neck, but I refused to turn around. A large rectangle was scratched into the wood, with a small dent chipped away in the centre of it. Right in front of my eyes, I saw the large 7. I had mindlessly etched into the wall. I knew what it was. Room 7 was just beyond that wall, where room 5 was moments ago. I don't know how I had done it. Maybe it was just my state of mind at the time, but I created the door. I knew I had. In my madness, I'd scratched into the wall what I needed the most and exit to the next room. Room 7 was close. I knew the demon was right behind me, but for some reason it couldn't touch me. I closed my eyes, placed both hands on the large 7 in front of me. I pushed as hard as I could. The demon was now screaming in my ear. It told me I was never leaving. It told me that this was the end, but I was going to die. I was going to live there in room 6 with it.
Live there in room 6 with me.
I wasn't. I pushed and screamed at the top of my lungs. I knew I was going to push through the wall eventually. I clenched my eyes shut and screamed, and the demon was gone. I was left in silence. I turned around slowly and was greeted by the room as it was when I entered, just a chair and a lamp. I couldn't believe it, but I didn't have time to wail. I turned my back to the 7 and jumped back slightly. What I saw was a door. It wasn't the one I'd scratched in, but a regular door with a large 7 on it. My whole body was shaking. It took me a while to turn the knob. I just stood there for a while, staring at the door. I couldn't stay in room 6. I couldn't. But if this was only room 6, I couldn't imagine what 7 had in store. I must have stood there for an hour, just staring at the 7. Finally, with a deep breath, I twisted the knob and opened the door to room 7.
How long's left?
Well, we're only in room 7. There's a minute left on the camera, so...
Okay, go and change that shit.
What are you thinking of the story?
I'm gripped. I just hope the listeners are gripped as well, because obviously it's going on for quite a while, but I'm glad. It's also our longest podcast ever, at 1 minute and 24.
I was hoping it would be.
1 minute 24, sorry, 1 hour, 24 minutes. So, back in the room, pat you down. No making any noise today. Go.
I stumbled through the door, mentally exhausted and physically weak. The door behind me closed and I realised where I was. I was outside. Not outside like room 5, but actually outside. My eyes stung. I wanted to cry. I fell to my knees and tried, but I couldn't. I was finally out of that hell. I didn't even care about the prize that was promised. I turned and saw that door I just went through was the entrance. I walked to my car and drove home, thinking of how nice a shower sounded. As I pulled up to my house, I felt uneasy. The joy of leaving No End House had faded and dread was slowly building in my stomach. I shook it off as residual from the house and made my way to the front door. I entered, immediately went up to my room. There on my bed was my cat, Baskerville. He was the first living thing I'd seen all night, and I reached to pet him. He hissed and swiped at my hand. I recoiled in shock, as he had never acted like that. I thought, whatever, he's an old cat. I jumped in the shower and got ready for what I was expecting to be a sleepless night. After my shower, I went to the kitchen to make something to eat. I descended the stairs and turned into the family room. What I saw would be forever burned into my mind. However, my parents were lying on the ground, naked and covered in blood. They were mutilated to near unidentifiable states. Their limbs were removed and placed next to their bodies, and their heads were placed on their chests facing me. The most unsettling part was their expressions. They were smiling, as though they were happy to see me. I vomited and sobbed there in the family room. I didn't know what had happened. They didn't even live with me at the time. I was a mess. Then I saw it. A door that was never there before. A door with a large 8 scrawled on it in blood.
The game's still going, baby.
I was still in the house. I was standing in my family room, but I was in room 7. The faces of my parents smiled wider as I realised this. They weren't my parents. They couldn't be, but they looked exactly like them. The door marked 8 was across the room behind the mutilated bodies in front of me.
Go into it.
I knew I had to move on, but at that moment I gave up. The smiley faces tore into my mind. They grounded me where I stood. I vomited again and nearly collapsed. Then the hum returned. It was louder than ever, and it filled the house and shook the walls. The hum compelled me to walk. I began to walk slowly, making my way closer to the door and the bodies. I could barely stand, let alone walk, and the closer I got to my parents, the closer I came to suicide. The walls were now shaking so hard, it seemed as though they were going to crumble, but still the faces smiled at me. As I inched closer, their eyes followed me. I was now between the two bodies, a few feet away from the door. The dismembered hands clawed their way across the carpet towards me, all while the faces continued to stare. New terror washed over me, and I walked faster. I didn't want to hear them speak. I didn't want the voices to match those of my parents. They began to open their mouths, and their hands were inches from my feet. In a dash of desperation, I lunged towards the door, threw it open, and slammed it behind me. Room 8. I was done. After what I had just experienced, I knew there wasn't anything else this fucking house could throw at me that I couldn't live through. There was nothing short of the fires of hell that I wasn't ready for. Unfortunately, I underestimated the abilities of No End House. Unfortunately, things got more disturbing, more terrifying, and more unspeakable in Room 8. I still have trouble believing what I saw in Room 8. Again, the room was a carbon copy of Room 3 and 6. Sitting in the usually empty chair was a man. After a few seconds of disbelief, my mind finally accepted the fact that the man sitting in the chair was me. Not someone who looked like me, it was David Williams. I walked closer. I had to get a better look, even though I was sure of it. He looked up at me, and I noticed tears in his eyes. Please don't do it. Please don't hurt me. What? I asked. Who are you? I'm not going to hurt you. Yes, you are. You're going to hurt me, and I don't want you to. He sat in the chair with his legs up and began rocking back and forth. It was actually pretty pathetic looking, especially since he was me, identical in every way. Listen, who are you? I was now only a few feet from my doppelganger. It was the weirdest experience yet. Standing there, talking to myself, I wasn't scared, but I would be soon. Why are you? You're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. If you want to leave, you're going to hurt me. Why are you saying this? Just calm down, alright? Just try and figure this. And then I saw it. The David sitting down was wearing the same clothes as me, except for a small red patch on his shirt, embroidered with the number 9. You're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. Don't, please, you're going to hurt me. My eyes didn't leave that small number on his chest. I knew exactly what it was. The first few doors were plain and simple, but after a while they got a little more ambiguous. 7 was scratched into the wall, but by my own hands. 8 was marked in blood above the bodies of my parents, but 9, this number was on a person, a living person. Worse still, it was on a person that looked exactly like me. David, I had to ask. Yes, you're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me. He continued to sob and rock. He answered to David. He was me. Right down to the voice, by that 9. I paced around for a few minutes while he sobbed in his chair. The room had no door, and similarly to room 6, the door I came through was gone. For some reason I assumed that scratching would get me nowhere this time. I studied the walls and the floor around the chair, sticking my head underneath and seeing if anything was below. Unfortunately, there was. Below the chair was a knife. Attached was a tag that read, "To David from management." The feeling in my stomach as I read that tag was something sinister. I wanted to throw up, and the last thing I wanted to do was remove that knife from under that chair. The other David was still sobbing uncontrollably. My mind was spinning into an attic of unanswerable questions. Who put this here, and how did they get my name? Not to mention the fact that as I knelt on the cold wood floor, I also sat in that chair, sobbing in protest of being hurt by myself. It was all too much to process. The house and the management had been playing with me this whole time. My thoughts for some reason turned to Peter, and whether or not he got this far. If he did, if he met a Peter Terry sobbing in this very chair, rocking back and forth, I shook those thoughts out of my head. It didn't matter. I took the knife from under the chair, and immediately the other David went quiet. David, he said in my voice, what do you think you're going to do? I lifted myself from the ground and clenched my knife in my hand. I'm going to get out of here. David was still sitting in the chair, though he was very calm now. He looked up at me with a slight grin. I couldn't tell if he was going to laugh or strangle me. Slowly, he got up from the chair and stood facing me. It was uncanny. His height and even the way he stood matched mine. I felt the rubber hilt of the knife in my hand and gripped it tighter. I don't know what I was planning on doing with it, but I had a feeling I was going to need it. Now, his voice was slightly deeper than my own. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to keep you here. I didn't respond. I just lunged and tackled him to the ground. I'd mounted him and looked down, knife poised and ready. He looked up at me, terrified. It was like I was looking in a mirror. Then the hum returned, low and distant, though I still felt it deep in my body. David looked up at me as I looked down at myself. The hum was getting louder, and I felt something inside me snap. With one motion, I slammed the knife into the patch on his chest and ripped down. Blackness fell on the room, and I was falling. Darkness around me was like nothing I had experienced up to this point. Room 4 was dark, but it didn't come close to what was completely engulfing me. I wasn't even sure if I was falling after a while. I felt weightless, covered in dark. Then a deep sadness came over me. I felt lost, depressed and suicidal. The sight of my parents entered my mind. I knew it wasn't real, but I had seen it, and the mind has terrible trouble differentiating between that, what is real and what isn't. The sadness only deepened. I was in room 9 for what seemed like days, the final room, and that's exactly what it was, the end. No End House had an end, and I had reached it. At that moment, I gave up. I knew I'd be in that in-between state forever, accompanied by nothing but darkness. Not even the hum was there to keep me sane. I lost all senses. I couldn't feel myself. I couldn't hear anything. Sight was completely useless here. I searched for a taste in my mouth and found nothing. I felt disembodied and completely lost. I knew where I was. This was hell. Room 9 was hell. Then it happened. A light. One of those stereotypical lights at the end of the tunnel. I felt ground come up from below me, and I was standing after a moment or two of gathering my thoughts and senses. I slowly walked toward that light. As I approached the light, it took form. It was a vertical slit down the side of an unmarked door. I slowly walked through the door and found myself back where I started, the lobby of No End House. It was exactly how I left it. Still empty, still decorated with childish Halloween decorations. After everything that had happened that night, I was still wary of where I was. After a few moments of normalcy, I looked around the place, trying to find anything different. On the desk was a plain white envelope with my name handwritten on it. Immensely curious, yet still cautious, I mustered up the courage to open the envelope. Inside was a letter, again handwritten. David Williams, congratulations, you have made it to the end of No End House. Please accept this prize as a token of great achievement. Yours forever, management. With the letter were 5 $100 bills. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed for what seemed like hours. I laughed as I walked to my car and laughed as I drove home. I laughed as I pulled into my driveway. I laughed as I opened my front door to my house and laughed as I saw the small 10 etched into the wood. The end.
Oh, God, dude. Fucking hell. That was intense.
Yeah.
Very intense.
No End House.
So that game is just never ending. It's just gonna happen.
He's just stuck in
He's
there
just
forever
stuck.
now.
What about Peter?
Peter just introduced him to the game.
Peter didn't go in there.
No.
Oh my God. Still got £500 though.
Yeah.
Dollars. So
Loving life, mate.
he still did pretty well. You know?
Yeah, he's what? Yeah, $500.
Fucked though, man. I got goosebumps. Legit.
It's pretty spooky stuff, huh? Which room was the scariest for you?
The room with the... I was going to say the little girl.
Right.
Or the one with the dead bodies on. Or probably the knife.
The dead parents.
Room 9.
Oh, okay.
No, room 8. Where he's got the little...
Yeah.
I was doing some reenactions.
Yeah, I could see it out the corner of my eye.
Yeah. I thought I had to involve myself as where I could.
No, you did well.
Thanks, man.
I think you added
that.
to it, definitely.
Yeah. We've been going for 1 hour and 36 minutes.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, I think that's where we wrap up our Halloween special.
Yeah?
It's been spooky.
It's been a good one.
It's been funky.
Hope you guys have a Halloween.
Have a
Halloween.
Have a Halloween.
I literally
have a
said,
happy one.
Have a Halloween. Have a happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween. Make sure
And
you
made it
don't
this far,
take
though.
any edible marijuana
Yes.
from many adults.
And do not enter the No End House.
If you see that about, just stay clear of it. You all know what happened to David. I
rest-
don't know how he managed to write the story while still in the game, but It is what it is, you know? It's fiction, so, yeah.
Or is it?
You're David. Maybe actually scared me a little bit. Well done. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.